Welcome back to Sage Advice, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern science. I'm Karen Mallinger, the Herb Gal, and I am so glad you're here. On Monday, I promised you a bonus podcast, and here it is. Today, I'm turning the mic over to a very dear friend of mine, Regina Harjula. 1 year ago, Regina made the decision to take charge of her health. This podcast is her story. The reasons, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly of meal planning and weight loss, and so much more. Stop right there. Just because you aren't interested in meal planning or weight loss, don't think this podcast isn't for you. Regina's going to share the conflicts, the confusion, and questions that everybody goes through about their own personal health. What's important, what we're afraid of, etc. I promise everyone out there will be able to relate to part of her story. So please stay tuned. So without any further ado, I am going to let her have the front stage. Regina, here is my audience. They're all yours.
Oh boy. Okay, well, thank you. And the first thing I want to say is thank you, Karen, because you were the one true friend that was honest with me about my health and my weight. And I thank God every day for your friendship and for your wisdom in this journey back to a healthier me. So to start the journey out, this is where everything began. I had stepped on the scale and found myself approaching 280, and at 5'0" that is horribly and grossly obese. I had tried many different programs. I mean, like Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Noom. I could go on and on. The list is just too long because I literally tried everything, but nothing worked. I might lose a pound, maybe 10, but then gain it all back and then some. And the worst thing was when I looked in the mirror and I lied to myself every time, telling myself, I don't care. It didn't matter. People were just going to have to take me as I am. And that was a lie because I did care. I just had no idea what to do. But it was bad. I was huffing and puffing up one flight of stairs, couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't walk to the mailbox or down to the chicken coop without getting out of breath. And I really was embarrassed about it. I didn't want to go to work when anybody else was there because I didn't want them to hear me huffing and puffing once I got up to the top of the stairs. I didn't want to go down to the chicken coop with friends because I didn't want them listening to me huffing and puffing just to get down to the chicken coop, which literally is shamefully just a few feet away. I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I know that. I'm truly aware of that. But I made excuses like I'm 64, it's just part of being old. And I like to cook, I like to bake, and well, I like eating. And so it all added up to an unhealthy lifestyle that was slowly but surely killing me. And I really didn't know what to do. But then, at the end of June of 2025, I read a book called Dark Calories by Catherine Shanahan, MD, and it was written and copyrighted in 2024. At the same time, I started researching microfasting. So I eliminated all seed oils and all refined sugar. And let me tell you, it's a tough thing to do. Don't ever think that's easy because it's not. Everything that you buy in the store, if it is a pre-prepared anything, it's got seed oils in it. And basically at this point, if I don't make it, I don't eat it. I started the microfasting, which basically generally means that I only eat from noon until 6. There's exceptions. Things happen, there's the holidays and the birthdays and so on. But I still, to this point, a full year later, I have not had refined sugar. The weight started to come off, but my biggest concern was I getting the right balance of nutrition and will it continue? On July of 2027, which I was only about 27 days into this, is when Karen came to see me and we were visiting. And this herb girl was brutally honest with me. And she needed to be because I needed to hear what my current state of health was doing to me. And I'm forever grateful. I really am. She told me all about the meal plans and how they could be tailored to exactly what I need for nutrition and for meal planning. So I went after she left and I went and I looked, and sure enough, they looked very interesting. And so I signed up for a full year. She said, "Did you know you signed up for a year?" I said, "Yep, I do." So she taught me proper portions, calories for each day. Meal plans are great because the best thing is I don't ever have to say, what am I going to make for dinner? It's all right there. I love that. And I knew that I was getting a good balance of protein and vegetables and minerals. And it was just great. I started to feel so good. She had me journaling everything, which was awesome. Something I really had never thought about doing for diet. I journaled my prayers, but I never had journaled my diet and what I was doing. Amazing. It really was amazing because you can see with the journaling exactly what worked and what didn't work. There were times when I thought, oh, I was really good today. And no, it wasn't really all that good today. And the scale told me that. So days were good, days were bad. But with that up and down, there was a big learning that was going on. And I was learning how to eat and how to look at food as the nutrition that I needed and not looking at food for, oh, most of the time people like me, I was a stress eater. And so if I was working on my quarterly taxes, I was munching on chips and doing all these things. But to backtrack on the seed oil issue too, those Lay's potato chips are laced with seed oils and they are addictive, truly addictive. Sugar is truly addictive. It took 2 full weeks of cutting those sort of things out before I started to really not crave them anymore. And then once I had backed out of that, I was so glad because I no longer craved them anymore. It was one of the things that Karen always asked me on our weekly calls is, what are you craving? And I found there really wasn't any craving. Every once in a while, I'd crave something crunchy, salty, but some celery sticks with peanut butter did the trick. And I knew also that because of the easy plan, I could swap recipes out. If I didn't particularly want that recipe, I just hit swap. It swapped out that recipe. I could move Monday's recipe to Thursday's recipe and vice versa. And it's just such an easy plan to use. It really is. And it's a great tool. And I used it as a tool in how I was, in this plan to get healthy. And that was another thing that I was looking at with this plan is I didn't look at it as a diet. And I don't look at what I'm doing right now as a diet. I have lost quite a bit. At this point, I'm at 160 today, and I'm excited about that. And with that measurement, of course, I want to lose weight. Of course, I don't want to be 280 pounds. But more than that, I feel good. I'm no longer feeling like I can't walk up a flight of stairs. I'm no longer out of breath doing that. I'm no longer out of breath going to the post office or to the mailbox or to the anywhere I want to go. I feel like I can walk with my husband and keep up with him. And anybody who knows Ken Harjula knows that he is like the Energizer Bunny, and keeping up with him is a challenge to begin with. One of the things that we did was we set goals, and the first goal that I actually made and what I was excited about was when I hit 199. And that was an awesome goal to hit. I was finally under that 200 goal, and it was awesome to get there. I continue to set goals for myself, and it's been fun to do that, to set those goals and to actually meet those goals. It does get easier as time goes on, as you begin to see things like the fact that I haven't been sick. I had been sick with sinus infections about every 3, 4 months on an antibiotic. I haven't been on an antibiotic since I started this. So for a full year, I can say I haven't been sick. It's second nature to me now. It's a lifestyle change for me now, and I look at it that way. If I looked at it as a diet, then it's temporary, and this is a permanent change for me. And I don't want that to be a temporary thing. I want it to be a permanent change. So I was fighting for my health, definitely fighting for my health, and it felt good to be able to fight for my health. It feels good to be able to look at the journal and look at where I was when the exercise came in, which was a fun thing. It was pathetic. I was absolutely pathetic. I could not do 5 minutes on the treadmill, and but I kept going. I got to 14 minutes, and I remember whining to Karen, "My knee hurts." And she said, "Motion is the lotion, girlfriend, get going." And I did, and move I did, working my way up to 30 minutes a day on the treadmill all winter long. And then when the springtime came, it was wonderful to be able to go out and walk for 30 to 45 minutes with my husband and not feel like I was just going to just drop right there. So, there's so many things that this meal plan has done for me, that it's more than just a diet. I guess that's what I really want people to understand. It's a lifestyle change. You need to understand what you're putting in your mouth, and you need to understand how much you really need to fuel your body. And that's basically what it is fueling your body. The surprising thing too was when we started taking measurements, because there's times when the weight necessarily wasn't coming off, but the measurements were looking like, smaller and smaller. One thing I did find is check your tape measure, because I had a tape measure that was a little stretched out. And so, yeah, it wasn't working right. So once I got a good tape measure, things were back on track. But anyway, that's a sidetrack there. But yeah, take your measurements. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And my husband's been supportive. It's been nice because he is a Finnish meat and potatoes kind of guy, but he's really stretched his palate for me. And I find that real food tastes so much better, real vegetables, so many great recipes. And the entire file, I have an entire file for them. I go back to certain ones, of course, are my favorites, but yeah, it's been great to do that, to be able to have that support. And Karen has been so great. I can't even tell you, to have that incredible wealth of knowledge at your fingertips. And she'll call every Friday. She'll take a call from you in the middle of the week if you need, but it's been awesome, because I can call her, I can tell her where I'm at, tell her where the stress has been, and then she comes back with, okay, this is what you need to do. And it's so I just can't even tell you. You need to understand that this is an incredible, incredible wealth of knowledge. She's just awesome. I can't say enough. She's just awesome.
Oh.
So now it's almost second nature. It's fun. It gets easier as time goes on. I keep saying that, but it really does. Um, it's it's nice because you go into the grocery store, and eliminating seed oils and eliminating the sugar and everything is tough, but the stores are starting to catch on. You can find potato chips that have been made with a healthier fat like avocado oil. You can find mayonnaise that's made with a healthier fat like avocado oil. And I think it's great that they're starting to catch on. The mainstream media would have you believe that the seed oils are the healthier fats. Don't believe them. They're lying to you. They've been lying to you all along. I would tell anyone that wants to get healthier and is willing to put in the work to talk to the herb gal. And it is work. Don't even think for a minute that this has been easy, because it's been a full year of uh, working on these recipes, of working on what really works and what really does not. It's been a full year of working my way up into a HIIT routine, which is high impact interval training, which has been awesome. I mean, and again, started with it. I could only do maybe one set of those. Now I'm in my 6 sets and I'm thinking, do I do 7? No, she said just 6. So keep going. But it's work. It is work, but you're working on yourself, and you are the temple of the Lord. You need to take care of that temple. And honestly, I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I had definitely let myself get to the point where I have to be honest, I was looking at the little carts, the mobile carts in the grocery store, thinking, am I at that point now? That was a real eye opener. That was a real eye opener. And if you get to the point where you're having to take drugs, like the GLP-1 drugs, honestly, they're so bad for you. All drugs come at a cost that can't be measured in dollars. The side effects that they gloss over very quickly when they talk about them should scare you out of your life. Karen can set you on a plan that's tailored to your needs and your preferences. Doesn't matter how old you are. I'm 65. It doesn't matter what physical ailments or joint ailments you have. The Herb Girl can do this. Honestly, how easy is it to spend $40 a month on junk and nothing to show for it? I never missed it. It was worth every penny. And I got my health back and my confidence and my balance. I encourage everybody to read the book, Dark Calories. It's an eye opener. I can tell you for sure it's true. My cholesterol is amazing. I have a healthy, good cholesterol of 150. My blood pressure is perfect, 116/78. And there's no sign of diabetes or the pre-diabetes that you hear about. I credit all that to God for the strength and the willpower to follow the plan to stay on target, and to Karen for the support and the encouragement. My next goal of 150, and hope to be there by the middle of August, and I will get there. Can't tell you enough to talk to Karen. She's helped me so much with the advice and the encouragement. And what other health plan comes with a personal coach? I ask you. So we talked every Friday with a check-in, and how was the week, and where were all the cravings, and how was your sleep, and the changes in the meal plan. It's amazing. It's so easy to do the meal plan. It's so easy. That's the only easy part about this whole thing, really. I mean, and she'll even go so far as to ask you, do you like to cook or don't you like to cook? And I'm sure there's a lot easier recipes than the ones that I have, because I do like to cook. And one of the things that I found that I could do, because I love, love, love to bake. I love to bake. And so I found a business within that baking need. And I bake bread all the time. Don't eat it, but I break it all the time. And so it's been great, because I can sell that on Facebook Marketplace, and people buy it and they love it. And I get my need to bake, and they get their need for bread. It's a win-win. So I I just I just can't I can't even think of what I would be at if I didn't take this step, the first step in July of 2025. It's been an eye opener. It's been an incredible journey, just an incredible journey. There's been ups and downs, obviously. There's been times when you think to yourself, this scale's never going to move. And it does. It just does. You just have to stay with it and keep working through it. And there's times, I have to be honest, there's times when you just are kind of weary of, this constant watching everything that goes in your mouth. And you just have to give yourself grace. There's those days, there's those times. You give yourself that grace and you get back at it and you get back on. And that's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. So with that, I don't know what else I can say. I am encouraged, I am loved, I am just so blessed. Where are we at now?
Thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm gonna touch back here. There. I'm gonna put us on gallery. Thank you so much, Regina, for all of that and for all of your kind words. And
Oh, they're
as
the truth.
as I was going through, because I also kept a record while Regina was doing this, and I was watching her inches and I was watching the weight. And I must say that you either stayed the same or lost every single week for an entire year. There was no time that your weight went up, not 1 pound. It may have during the week, but we only checked it once a week. You kept track
Right,
every day, but we
right.
got together and I'm looking at your record and it is a straight line down. There are no bumps up and down. It's a straight line down and the inches coming off. And I think and the energy every week that we talked, she was amazed at the energy. And
I still
I,
am. Yeah,
I thought that was just
yeah.
wonderful because I remember how sluggish she was. And she
Hmm.
talked to me. She said, Karen, I'm just so tired. I'm so fatigued. And um, to hear her talk about she was sleeping great. She was sleeping through the night, getting great sleep, having energy to burn. And it was so good. And I will remember forever the first time that and let's face it, ladies, we all have fat pants. I've got a pair, we all have them. But I will remember the first time that I went to see her and saw her in blue jeans. And I
Yeah.
said, when did you get jeans? And she said, Karen, I have to keep going and getting new clothes.
Yeah, yeah, there is the big drawback because I have to go and I go to Goodwill because I figure I'm not going to spend a lot of money on something that I'm just going to grow out of in a month or
Right.
so, so that's the drawback. You're constantly sending things to Goodwill and bringing things back. So
It's worth it. Recycle them and let somebody else be blessed
that's
by them.
it.
But
That's
it
it.
was so wonderful. And when I saw that, it was like she's on her way. She doesn't need me anymore.
Oh, well, I will always need you, my friend. I will always need you.
Thank you. Yeah. So it was wonderful. It's amazing because doctors usually, if they spend 5 minutes with you, it's a miracle.
Mm,
But we spent at least half an hour every week talking, going through how are you feeling. We talked a lot. She has an extremely stressful job, and we talked a lot about her stress levels. And
mm,
she would get the results at the end of the week, and she would say, I didn't lose any weight at all. And I was watching her calories, I was watching the nutrients, I was watching her protein and fat and carbohydrate ratios and everything. And I thought, this doesn't make sense. She should have lost at least a pound this week. And then I found out that it was probably due to the cortisol from the
mm,
stress that she
mhm.
was dealing with from her job. And so we talked a lot about
Yeah.
stress management. What are you doing to manage your stress? We talked about several different avenues for that, things that you can do to reduce the stress. We were not created to be in fight or flight 100% of the time. We just weren't. And
Right.
our lifestyles now are that. And our bodies can't handle it. And so that was an eye opener for her because she couldn't understand why she wasn't losing weight and wasn't losing inches. I said,
Mhm.
it's not the weight in the inches. I said, you're overstressed. You have got to take time. And then once she did that, and I have to tell you, I've had a lot of clients. Regina is my star pupil. Everything I asked her or demanded that she do, she did. And she did it willingly with a smile on her face. And everything she did had results. And once she grabbed onto the fact that her job was stressing her and she needed to take time for her and make herself a priority, when she got a hold of that idea, it started to click. And if she had a particularly stressful week, she knew that she had to take some downtime just for her. And whatever
Yeah.
that looks like, it might be a walk by yourself, it might be going and singing to your chickens, it could be anything. But it was so important that she take that time to
Mhm.
de-stress. And once she grabbed a hold of that, then the weight started just falling off again. And
Right.
it was just amazing. Yeah. And I wasn't always nice because when she wanted me to talk her in off the ledge, it was like, okay, well, your knees are hurting. I have a salve for that. So rub this salve into your knees and get back on it first thing in the morning.
Right. Yes, right.
Oh, you poor girl. But
Oh, no, no, not a poor, no, not at all. Yeah,
consistency is the
that's
key.
it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it. Yeah.
consistency. You have to be consistent, and you were, and you saw the results of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am so
It,
proud of you, Regina.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. I really couldn't have. I mean, I had gotten to the point where I understood, like I've said many times, the seed oil and the sugar being so addictive. And I had gotten to the point where with microfasting, I could drop weight. But I was so afraid, so very afraid, because so many things I had tried before and lost a few pounds and then just came right back. And so with the meal plan, that gave me that extra confidence level, I guess you would say, to to continue with what I was doing, to continue with the plan, with the fasting, with the reducing of all of these toxins in my diet. So yeah, I just couldn't have done it without you. Absolutely could not have. And I feel confident now at the end of this, you
Mhm.
know, this whole year, I feel confident that I can continue with what we have. It's been so nice to be able to print those recipes, and I can always
Yeah.
go back to, like I said, some of them are my favorites. So
Hmm.
much to
Yes.
my husband's decline, but whatever.
The fat bombs. Does he like the fat bombs?
Yeah, actually, he does. He
Oh, good.
does. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because everybody, and I turned her on to a fat bomb recipe that didn't have any artificial sugar or anything in it. And when she needs a little treat, she makes up a batch of fat bombs.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Regina, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share with all of my listeners about your personal success. And I will tell you, her dedication, her willingness to stick to the plan and do what the requirements were. And I did it very slowly. We had a year to work, and she had a
Hmm.
lot of weight to lose. And
Hmm.
I knew that I couldn't start her out with a meal plan and exercise and all of these different things. It would have been too much. It would have overwhelmed her and she'd have given up after 2 weeks. And I knew that. And so it, and everybody is different. Some people have the
Hmm.
temperament to do those kinds of things, but there was so much going on here. And so we did it slowly. I phased it in slowly. And as I phased it in, you were so good to do everything I asked you to do. And you had the success. What is your total weight loss now?
Total weight loss is 223, 224. I guess I didn't calculate that out. I'll have to look at it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not two, one. I'm sorry,
One.
124. Yeah.
One. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing left of me. Right.
Yes.
124. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's just amazing. You are my success story. And so this is really not a sales pitch. What I want everybody to understand is that it is not too late. You are not too far gone.
Hmm.
There's always time to bring your body back. Your body, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I tell you all that every week. And it's true. If you just
Hmm.
give your body what it needs, your body will regain strength, health, vitality, all of those things. And so, I just wanted you to come on. I wanted them to talk to a real person. I didn't want them to say, well, of course the herb gal's going to say that. It's her thing. And, but no, I have living proof that this works. And so I'm so appreciative of that. So that's it, everybody. I appreciate you hanging in with us. This is longer than most of my podcasts. Normally they only go 10 to 15 minutes, but I wanted to share this success story with you and let you know that um, good health and wellness is right around the corner, and it is not rocket science, and you can do it drug free. I promise you. And so, with that, we are going to sign off. Stay there, Regina, because we're going to talk after I turn off the recording. But thank you, everybody, for listening. And as I said, the podcasts are ending. This is my very last one until 1 September. I'll be back with you on 1 September. My husband and I, hopefully, God willing, will be settled in Colorado Springs, and I'll be right back in the middle of it. And so I'll check in with you guys. See you in September. Thanks very much, everybody. Let's get better.